Actor Ray Fisher wants to see a solo Cyborg film happen, and thinks Zack Snyder should direct. DC gave short shrift to Fisher's character in last year's Justice League, after Joss Whedon took over reshoots from Snyder. Much of Cyborg's backstory was left on the cutting room floor. What little story fans did get was explained via exposition. Because of this, Cyborg was reduced to more of a plot device than a fully fleshed-out member of the Justice League. After Justice League failed to impress at the box office, DC began rethinking their approach to the DCEU, with many previously planned projects being set aside to make room for the new direction. One potential piece of collateral damage from the shakeup was the proposed Cyborg solo film. Actor Joe Morton, who played Silas Stone, father to Victor Stone, Cyborg, said just last month that the solo film is still happening, but Fisher says he hasn't heard of any plans for it. Related, Cyborg actor Ray Fisher reunites with Zack Snyder in new photo. It was inevitable that Cyborg would come up in a recent interview of Fisher by 600th World. Fisher was asked if he knew he would join the Justice League after being cast as Victor in Batman v Superman. He did, and what he had been told about the character's future. He expressed his enthusiasm to continue the role, and says he knows exactly who he wants to tell Cyborg's story. Zack Snyder: I did know about being a part of Justice League. Zack explained what the overall plan for me was at the time, and that there was the potential of a Cyborg standalone down the line, assuming the story would be grounded and compelling. I'd love to do a solo film this year. I think Cyborg has the potential for a superhero film unlike any we've seen before. If Zack were to ever come back to direct another DC film, he'd be my top pick to direct. Feelings about Snyder's continued involvement in future DCEU films is somewhat mixed. His past 3 DC films, Justice League, Batman v Superman, and Man of Steel, proved divisive among fans. To be fair though, many of the complaints regarding Justice League are directed at the Whedon reshoots, with fans clamoring to see Snyder's original vision. Snyder's plans for Cyborg included exploring the character's life before being cybernetically enhanced, like showing his football career and his relationship with both his parents. So far, Cyborg remains the only member of the Justice League without his own movie. Wonder Woman and Superman have standalone films. Aquaman comes out later this year, and Batman and The Flash have solo projects currently in the works. Admittedly, Cyborg isn't as well known to a mass audience as those other superheroes, likely leaving DC unsure if he could garner enough attention to make a standalone worthwhile. But then again, few non-comic book readers knew of the Guardians of the Galaxy before the film's release, and that turned out to be a huge success for Marvel, because so little about Cyborg has been established in the DCEU. He remains an ideal candidate for a solo film this year. Whether his story would rely on Snyder's vision or something entirely new remains to be seen, but it's a safe bet to say Fisher would love to be involved either way. Source: 600th World. Tags: Cyborg.